to the another segment of Thoughtful Leader series. Today, we have with us Mr. Kandoi, Chief Executive Officer of Global Institute of Technology. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, please share your journey towards the education, or I can say towards the Global Institute of Technology.
So my journey for education started as a student, as it mostly does. I was always a good student, and I grew up in a family where good education was uh, more of a pressure than anything else in life. Although family had a background in industry and manufacturing, etc., but parents always taught us to value education and to pursue it with utmost sincerity. So I've had the good fortune of attending some of the best schools and institutions across the world and in our country. And with that experience, I completed my mechanical engineering from Purdue University in US and Masters in Innovation Management from UK Imperial College. So after completing that program, I came back and I got into my family's manufacturing business. So there I really found value in my mechanical engineering background because it was manufacturing, and I did not take up an office. I spent 3-4 years working in the plant with the foreman and the chief engineer in the factory, and we tried to develop new product lines. We tried to refine our product offerings to get better tolerances for the products we were making already. And my background in engineering really helped me achieve those goals. So I always felt that people who say that कॉलेज की या स्कूल की पढ़ाई से कोई वैल्यू नहीं मिलती, आपका एक्सपीरियंस या आपका कॉन्फिडेंस या आपका कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स इज utmost important. I will not discount that entirely. Yes, these things are important, but I personally feel if you study the relevant things in the domain that you're going to be working in, then definitely it has great value to be a sincere student and to be in college and to attend classes regularly and to do projects, build projects, because it will give you a certain technical skill which just being good at communication will not grant you. So in 2018, after 5 years of working in manufacturing, my grandfather had asked me that you need to look into the engineering program of our family college. So Global Institute of Technology started in 2002. I joined in 2018 when it was in dire need of a reshuffle, of a reinvention in its spirit, in its core theme and ideology. So when I came in 2018, I was a little surprised because engineering, how it is taught in India, was very different from how I had experienced it in the West. And that began my journey of trying to transform the institution and to bring about some learnings from the West into how we take up technical education, how we perceive practical knowledge versus theoretical knowledge. And so far the journey has been very exciting, and I believe that we've made some great strides in offering greater value to our students who come to our institute.
That's really great, sir. So being a CEO is a leadership position. So how would you describe your leadership style, and how would you describe the leadership?
Okay, so leadership style is something that is inherent to a person coming from a family business background, right? So I had always seen these conversations occur in the drawing room of my house between my uncles and my dad, across generations, my grandfather and my father. So it would happen in English, Hindi and Marwadi, but we picked on the Marwadi way of doing business, where it's all almost about like a very hard approach of cost cutting and ensuring that everything is maximized in its efficiency, all the way to my exposure in the West, where it was more about the top line, that you don't worry about the costs. You first create enough value, you create a service or a product which is of extreme value to your customers, and then you move towards optimizing and cutting costs, but you don't start with the cost cutting. So, bridging the gap between what I had observed within my family and what I had learned formally in my academics, I believe that my leadership style is attuned for innovation, because innovation is something that never ceases. Innovation is not just digitizing a certain facet of your business or bringing in a learning management system for students. Innovation is in simple processes. The way we design a timetable for students, the amount of agency and flexibility we give to students to pick their courses, to pick their scheduling for the day. There could be a student who has a part-time job in the morning and can only attend classes after 11 a.m. There could be a student who can only attend 3 to 4 days in a week and not the entire week due to some family constraints. So why shouldn't an institute cater to these requirements? So my leadership style, like I said, is mostly around innovation of processes and how to streamline uh, learning outcomes wherein it becomes convenient and comfortable for students to take on those outcomes as and when required, when they are ready to receive it, and also to ensure that our faculty is not spread too thin, but our faculty is always available and energized to address student problems. Along with that, I personally believe that systems and processes, although we do take great pride in having good systems and processes across any corporate structure or company, but I think that's not the most critical aspect of leadership in a business. I personally believe that as a leader, we have to take care of the organization's culture. So culture is much more important than SOPs or rules that employees need to follow or students need to follow. So one of the first things I did was bring in a culture of integrity, build in a culture of honesty and trust with one another. So I burned my hands with that because not everybody works with the same integrity as a leader would. But I would rather have people who who take time to come around, but when they do, they come with full conviction and motivation rather than people who project the idea of integrity, but on the sidelines and are not, as pivotal to a student's learning as the guard who ensures that every child is back on time and every child is wearing a helmet before leaving the campus. So it's across the board, starting from the main gate guards all the way to the principal, all the way to the senior management, that integrity, honesty, transparency, and trust, they take center stage. These may be ideological goals. People say कि हाँ but modern age में business ऐसे नहीं चलता, काम ऐसे नहीं होता, आपको कहीं ना कहीं तो grey area में function करना पड़ता है. I understand that, and I do appreciate that people do create systems wherein those gray areas can be minimized, but I have a hardline approach to this. I don't believe in compromises. I hate the word balance. People keep recommending that I should find a balance between discipline and student appeasement, but I don't believe in balance at all, because a balance is nothing but a compromise. I believe in having clear goals for your culture and then taking decisions which are aligned with that culture. And if something doesn't fall in the right side of that culture, that thing needs to be eradicated completely. So it may take time to get to that final outcome, but you should never stop chasing that. You should never find solace in the balance. So I can be a real pain for my faculty and for my principal to work with, because my standards or expectations from them are an absolutely no-nonsense approach, and an approach that gives no room for a balance. And even if they do say that, okay, these things cannot be done in a single day, I expect a clear-cut plan, and I help them make those plans as well on how we can achieve those targets where we are 100% on the right side without compromising. And at best, I'll give them 3 to 4 months to achieve those goals. So it's not like, okay, the turnaround will take 5 years. We are not like the government which makes 5-year plans. We make 3-month plans at best, and so far it has helped get more of our students pleased. It has helped better students get better jobs in the industry. It has helped our faculty getting more satisfaction out of the work they do at our institute, and it has helped attract a better body of students, wherein we are attracting the students which have the same culture and ethos towards their learning. They have the same motivation to do better, to push themselves. So I think as an organization, that's as much as we can hope for and continue hoping for, that this journey towards better outcomes keeps on continuing.
That's really great, sir. So you have talked about your, I can say, your handling with the faculties, with the students.
Yeah.
Let's come to the Global Institute of Technology. Definitely, it's cut and clear that the curriculum is predefined. But there must be some USPs or something which makes the Global Institute of Technology different from the other engineering institutes.
Of course. So one thing you have to take on face value is the model curriculum which is provided by Rajasthan Technical University, which again is based off of what AICT says. So I don't believe that the curriculum is outdated. Yes, the curriculum could do with a revision in terms of better examples being used to discuss concepts in class. We could do more lab work, we could do more project work. But these are things that a college or an institution can still do even without RTU stepping in or AICT changing the curriculum. So that brings us back to the culture of the institution. Since we have a culture to innovate, every year we have a theme that this is a facet of the curriculum that we are going to work on, and we are not going to wait for AICT or RTU to fix those things. We are going to fix them at our. So one of them I briefly touched upon earlier, which is about giving flexibility or scheduling to students. So at present, most RTU colleges, they'll have multiple sections in each semester, and each student studies a topic or gets a chance to study a topic once a week. But that same topic is covered 4 times, for example, for 4 sections. So what we did was we did not assign sections to students. We scheduled 4 timetables. We merged them, wherein one math lecture was before lunch and one was after lunch. One was on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and one was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that way, as a student, you could always optimize. You could see, okay, I can't make it to college on a Tuesday, so that lecture is next happening on Wednesday after lunch, so I can plan accordingly. And we in fact did a workshop with students wherein we asked them to put up different cases and scenarios. Say, for example, a student who can't come to college before 11 o'clock. So even after 11, doing a mixing and matching between the 4 timetables that we provided them, you could complete all your requisites for that week without missing a single lecture while having that flexibility for yourself. So that was one agenda we had for the year 2022. For 23, we started work on technical skills of the students. So there is no shame in accepting that our professors have been in academia for good 10 to 20 years, and they may not be the people who are best in touch with modern approach to problem solving in the industry, whether it is computer science, whether it is mechanical engineering. Some modern tools they may not be as well versed with as a practicing industry expert. So what we did was we completed the RTU/AICT curriculum within the first month of the semester. That is for the labs. Theory continues for the entire semester as specified. For the labs, we tend to have 10 experiments which have to be completed in the semester. We complete those 10 experiments in the first month itself. And then the remaining 3 months, we call industry experts to come and teach industry practices, the best practices which are common today in the corporate world, to our students. And many colleges and universities offer similar things at a cost to the student. So here, this cost is not taken on by a student because then it becomes volunteer basis. Somebody who wants to do it but can't afford it will miss out on this. So this cost is borne by the institute, and the program is mandatory for all students to attend. And it's not like a boot camp, because that is again discouraging for children, right? Because say I want to teach you how to create a data analytics dashboard using Tableau, right, which is a common industry software for data visualization. Now, you may not want to do this in your second year because it's not part of your curriculum, and a lot of students are just driven by what is the bare minimum expected that. So they feel, no, I can do this in the third year, I can do this in my summer break, why should I do this right now? So what we do is this industry expert that we call upon, we ensure that we are only touching upon topics which are anyway part of the curriculum in that specific semester. So you're not doing anything outside of what is expected in the semester, while at the same time within those domains, you're going beyond what the curriculum says and actually getting industry best practices in that particular facet or domain. So students often don't even know where they want to work after graduating, right? Even in computer science, it's a wide umbrella term. Computer science has multiple domains. You could be in digital marketing, could be in cybersecurity, you could be in machine learning, data analytics, or full stack development for that matter. So when we do each lab with the best industry practices in each semester, then a student gets industry exposure to each facet of computer science, not a single one that they may favor over the others. So this way we ensure that there is breadth of knowledge amongst the students. They can translate between one job role to the next, and they are aware of the best practices across the board.
That's really amazing, sir. To give the opportunity to the students that yes, they can learn without paying extra. Yeah. That's the one main point that you have shared, that yes, student wanted to do, but sometimes their pockets don't allow them to do.
Yeah.
But yes, GIT is giving them opportunity to learn each and everything that they wanted.
And we also ensure that if all of this is done during college hours, so you don't have to stay back extra just because you want to learn extra. So there are a lot of redundant hours during the college program, during the institute's schedule. So we ensure that no hour is wasted for the child. Like each hour is utilized to its maximum. And this system has worked very well so far, and we've seen an increase in the average placement packages that our students are appealing.
That's really amazing. So, sir, we have talked about the curriculum, we have talked about the activities that we are doing. But apart from the curriculum and apart from these technical terms that we are using, what are the other curriculum activities that we are giving students to, I can say, to engage them or
Enrichment activities, etc. So, undergraduation or engineering education in general is not restricted to technical skills. We have communication skills, we have leadership skills, life skills, which all become part of the overall goal of the institute, right? Because when in school, you enter a student and you leave a student. Right? Even after grade 12, you're going to take on another journey, another path, but as a student. When you come to an undergraduate engineering program, you enter as a child, as a student, but most likely you're going to exit as a functioning adult of the corporate world. So these are facets which can't be ignored. So one way we try and cultivate these strong skills is by having a lot of opportunities where students create student-driven organizations, student clubs, a lot of intra-college and inter-college events across the board. They participate in Smart India hackathons and other local college competitions also. So therein they get an opportunity to manage, to volunteer as coordinators for these events, where they learn to coordinate with a large group of people, they learn to adhere to timelines, they learn to communicate, they learn to bring in sponsors for these events. So they pick up facets of sales and marketing, technical communication, besides what is formally in the AICT curriculum, which has technical communication, human values, managerial economics, manufacturing economics and finance. Some elements of financial literacy also are inculcated. We do bring in some workshops and some boot camps, sometimes around financial literacy, sometimes around communication skills. So we do a lot of aptitude training for students. Their logic aptitude has to be built, their quantitative aptitude, their qualitative aptitude, those have to be refined. So different interventions take place at different times. Also, I believe that sports builds culture, and sporting activities should be encouraged even at an engineering institute, although many people perceive that that's a domain of other programs like BCom BA, where students engage more heavily into those activities. But here we have a wonderful campus infrastructure where we have international standard courts, fields, practice nets, and those facilities are extended to all our students, wherein they can come in and they can build camaraderie by way of being part of the same team with a common goal of winning a match. And I think these bring in some very positive attributes to how they approach life in general. So a mix of sports, a mix of cultural programs wherein they build some leadership skills, and a lot of motivation and inspiration via guest speakers and experts who come in and who talk to our students very frequently. I feel that once a student graduates from GIT, they are not just an engineer, they are a well-functioning adult and a good citizen. That's most important.
That's really great, sir. So, sir, in the last, I wanted to ask some suggestions from you to the younger generation that are coming forward.
So, to the younger generation, there is something I always refer to when I'm talking to my first year students. So, when you say younger generation, I believe it's going to be students in grades 11 and 12, most likely who are exploring a career in engineering in the future. So, one thing is that you have to take your academics seriously. It's your full-time job right now. So the discipline and perseverance which is required to hold on to a job, you may not like it, but you have to do it. So you have to build that mindset. I may not enjoy it the most right now, but this is important. If it's important, it is of high priority. And if it is of high priority, no matter the pains or the hurdles or the challenges, I must take it to a logical conclusion. I must complete the tasks assigned to me. So in 11th and 12th, firstly, approach your learning with some reverence for it. Like, don't take it for granted कि हाँ हर कोई पढ़ता है, हर कोई 12th तक करता है. It's not about completing the year 12. It's not about getting good marks or getting into JEE. It's about building those habits of being a good student, of being a good learner. Because if you're a good learner, you can go to any college and come out with flying colors and get the best job in the country. And if you're not a good student, And you can go to the best institutes in the world and still come out with nothing in your hand. So it's about being a good student, and I think 11th and 12th is a critical period to do that. Besides that, I say yes, coaching may be important. We live in a very competitive space today. But again, coaching is to maximize marks on a test. Do not confuse that with learning. You need to handle both. You need to learn and understand your concepts, and you need to practice in a coaching center so that you can maximize your opportunity of getting into a good college. So don't pick one over the other. Don't say कि मैं coaching नहीं कर सकता इसलिए मैं JEE नहीं कर सकता. And neither do you need to take admission in a dummy school because you are enrolled in a JEE coaching program. You can do both, and ideally you should do both, because otherwise you will never become a well-rounded engineer. To my dear students, who have graduated grade 12 and are looking to enter their engineering journey, there are 4 facets which I find very, very important for success as an engineer. First is have empathy. Have empathy for those who couldn't make it to the same institute. Have empathy for your peers who don't have access to resources that you may have. Have empathy for your parents who have sacrificed a lot to put you in this place of great opportunities in the future. So be empathetic and listen to their pain, listen to their troubles, listen to their challenges and sacrifices, and do your best to give back to your society. Because empathy is just not for yourself, it's also going to help you feel better about what you do. Empathy is also going to make you a better manager in the future, because you learn to think from different perspectives, and that is what true leadership is. If I can think about what my decisions will impact how my decisions will impact my teachers, my senior leadership, my students, my parents, then I know I'm making the right decisions. So empathy is the first step to becoming a good manager or a good leader in the future. Second, have integrity. I think we've discussed that as my core leadership style. But integrity is also important for an individual, because something you achieve with integrity, you always cherish that moment. Right? Otherwise, you can win the highest accolades and not derive any satisfaction. And we are human beings. We need a pat on the back. We need to feel gratified once in a while. And that can only happen if you attain something with honesty, with integrity. Without integrity, even your biggest wins will fall flat. They will not motivate you further. So integrity is what keeps you going. Third thing that I insist upon is perseverance. I think we've spoken about that as well. That hard work is critical. Just because you don't enjoy something doesn't mean you drop it. Passion can only get you started. So somebody who says, follow your heart, follow your passion is very ill advice, because your passion will not get you into an engineering college. Because your passion will not be to practice 150 physics problems in a day. Nobody's passionate about that. But it's important. You need to do it. And once you start something, you never drop it halfway. Once you start something, you take it to a logical end. Anybody who's successful, they could be from an IIT, they could be from MIT, they could be from GIT, or they could be from any other IT college, or not from a technical background. Anybody who's successful is somebody who's ziddi about that perseverant nature, right? कि अब मैंने सोच लिया है तो मैं करके ही मानूंगा. So that is a quality that gets you to bring about challenging results. Passion can only get you started. Perseverance will get you done. And lastly, it's about autonomy. Today in this generation, just because your school doesn't offer a subject, or you don't have a certain coaching institute or program available in your city, or maybe as an engineering student, the professor doesn't know a certain tool or software, that cannot restrict your learning. You have to take ownership of your own learning. If there is something you wish to learn, I want to learn electric guitar at this age, I can't say I don't have time. I have to make time, I have to find the resources. If I don't find a teacher, you can learn it from YouTube. Or there are apps for everything that teach you these skills. So stop making excuses, take charge of your learning journey, be everything you want to be, and spend time doing it. Because till you graduate, your 24 hours belong to you. You're working for yourself, you're working on yourself, you're developing the skills for your future. Once you graduate, once you get your first job or you start a family, your responsibilities will begin, and nowhere will you be able to find, forget 24 hours, you won't even be able to find 2 hours uniquely for yourself. Everything will be a compromise on somebody else's time, and then you'll carry guilt that instead of doing it for myself, I should spend this money, or I should spend this time trying to fix my children, or trying to do better for my boss or for my company. So this is the time you have entirely to yourself to not waste it. It's not the fees, it's not the exam, it's not the friends, it is your time. These 4 years are uh, your foundation. The stronger you build them, the better you'll be.
Thank you so much for your valuable time and valuable thoughts.
Thank you so much.